A lot of people have put my grandpa through hell, and he's still standing. The media makes my grandpa seem like a different person, but I know him for who he is.
Kai Trump's words ignited a spark that swept across the nation, reminding us that even the youngest voices can carry the eternal truth of a unified purpose.
Hi everyone, my name is Kai Madison Trump. I am the granddaughter of Donald Trump. I'm speaking today to share the side of my grandpa that people don't often see. To me, he's just a normal grandpa. He gives us candy and soda when our parents aren't looking. He always wants to know how we're doing in school. When I made the high honor roll, he printed it out to show his friends how proud he was of me.
In honoring her grandfather, Kai didn't just stun the crowd. She rekindled the fire of a movement, breathing new life into a vision of strength and unapologetic patriotism.
He calls me during the middle of the school day to ask how my golf game is going and tells me all about his. But then I have to remind him that I'm in school and I'll have to call him back later. When we play golf together, if I'm not on his team, he'll try to get inside of my head. I know. And he's always surprised that I don't let him get to me. But I have to remind him, I'm a Trump too.
Kai Trump stood as a beacon of loyalty and pride, her words painting Donald Trump not just as her grandfather, but as a symbol of resilience and unyielding determination in the face of relentless opposition.
Even when he's going through all these court cases, he always asks me how I'm doing. He always encourages me to push myself to be the most successful person I can be. Obviously, he sets the bar pretty high, but who knows, maybe one day I'll catch him. On Saturday, I was shocked when I heard that he has been and I just wanted to know if he was okay. It was heartbreaking that someone would do that to another person. A lot of people have put my grandpa through hell, and he's still standing. Grandpa, you are such an inspiration, and I love you. The media makes my grandpa seem like a different person, but I know him for who he is. He's very caring and loving. He truly wants the best for this country, and he will fight every single day to make America great again. Thank you very much.
Donald Trump's triumph was not just an election, it was a seismic shift, echoing through history as the most pivotal moment in over a century, shaking the foundations of entrenched power.
But the American people have just delivered really something very amazing. The biggest political victory in 129 years. Can you believe that, Newt? 120. They said the most consequential election. I love that word. It's a beautiful word. Most consequential election in the last 129 years. Wow, that's something. So we swept all swing states. We won the popular vote. Oh, I love that. You know, in the last one, in my first term, they said he won the election, but they always followed by he didn't win the popular vote. That's what they say. I don't even know, is it true or not? Who knows? But they would say he didn't win the popular vote, and we won the popular vote by records now. Nobody can say that anymore about us. Nobody can say that because we won the popular vote. And I didn't win it, the people won it. The great people of our country won the popular vote, and that's what they wanted, and this was something really special. Won the White House, recaptured the Senate, and now, as of today, recaptured the House. Thank you very much, Congressman. On track. Looks like we have it, the largest margin in the national vote in presidential year since 1928. That's a long time ago. Well, that's interesting. That's when this house was built, 1928. It took a lot of years, but that was when it was completed. And something that I just read here, and I saw from one of our friends from the news, from the media, we won, I didn't know this, we won 49 out of 50 states, shifted toward the GOP significantly. That's a big number.
His victory united voices long ignored, as unprecedented numbers of Black and Hispanic voters cast their support for a vision of strength and prosperity.
So we won the largest share of Black and Hispanic votes of any Republican in the history of our country, recorded history of our country. So we won, think of that. We won the largest share of Black and Hispanic voters. That's so incredible. They're unbelievable people. We respect them. We admire them. They've been through a lot, and they like us. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But if you take a look at the border of Texas, the governor called me, Greg Abbott, who's a great guy, called me up. He said, you won every single town on the border. And these towns were always blue. They were a dark, strong blue, and we won every single town up and down the border in Texas. We won with married women. What about unmarried women? What happened to unmarried women? We won with married women. We won half of all ages. Think of that. More than 50% of the 18 to 29-year-olds, the highest in many decades, the highest number. People don't want men playing in women's sports, right? They don't want it. They don't want it. You know, I said that during the last few weeks, I was very heavy on the common sense things, like they want a border. They want people to come into our country. They do. They don't want to have exclusion, but they want to come in legally through a system. They don't want them coming in through prisons and through where you dump a prison from countries all over the world, dumping prisons into our country. The prisoners dumped into our country by the millions. They don't want that. They don't want all of the kind of things that they don't want deals. They don't want gang members. They don't want people that are causing trouble. They don't want people that the country doesn't want.
In mere days, a nation that had languished in stagnation felt the surge of unstoppable momentum, with crowds of tens of thousands embodying a collective awakening.
And they had I would say a truth, Elon would say an X, but it came out and it had 12 different things, and it went down a list of things, and part of it was that the cartels were bringing in, they don't want them at stopping you. Wait till you see the numbers that are going to be released. In 2 days, things happened to our country. This is 2 days as of 3 days ago, but things are happening to our country that we didn't see happening for years. The caravans on the way up, 35,000 people, they're breaking up. They're breaking up. They're not making the journey. And we had 3 or 4 of the highest, I guess almost every single day we set new records in the stock market. We set new records economically. We're doing great. Now, the only thing is, Mr. Speaker, I think it's important, maybe you should pass a bill. You have to start my term from November 5th, okay? Or November 6th if you want. November 5th, because the market's gone through the roof. Enthusiasm's doubled. It's doubled in the last short while. And I watched a liberal commentator say, you know, whether you like him or not, there seems to be a beautiful light shining over our country and even over the world. I said, this guy didn't say that. We have to defeat inflation, and while inflation's down, the costs are way too high. And when I went around, I heard something that was very interesting, the word grocery. It's sort of such a strange and simple, nice word. You know, I'm going out for groceries today. They talked about that more than any other item. The groceries are too high. And when you think about it, that's a very bad thing. And I talked about that a lot in the last couple of weeks, and it resonated. I tell a story about a woman. She got 3 apples, an old woman. She had 3 apples, and she brought them up to the cash register, and she looked at the woman, and she said, is that the right price? And the woman said, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. Yes, it is. And she said, oh, that's okay. Could you wait 1 minute? And she took one of the 3 apples, and she brought it back to the refrigeration, and she came back gently up to the cash register, and she paid for 2 apples instead of 3. That should not be happening in our country. That should not be happening here. It's not going to happen here. We're gonna make it a much different place. We're going to slash energy costs. We're going to get your energy bills in half, and that's going to bring down the costs, generally speaking.
The Trump administration forged an unparalleled alliance, a coalition so vast and focused, it became a living embodiment of unity and purpose.
His campaign has been so historic in so many ways. We've built the biggest, the broadest, the most unified coalition. They've never seen anything like it in all of American history. They've never seen it. Young and old, men and women, rural and urban. And we had them all helping us tonight, when you think. I mean, I was looking at it, I was watching it. They had some great analysis of the people that voted for us. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. They came from all corners, union, non-union, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, Arab American, Muslim American. We had everybody, and it was beautiful. It was a historic realignment, uniting citizens of all backgrounds around a common core of common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense. We want to have borders. We want to have security. We want to have things be good, safe. We want great education. We want a strong and powerful military, and ideally we don't have to use it. You know, we had no 4 years. We had no, except we defeated in record time, but we had no. They said, he will start a. I'm not going to start. I'm going to stop. But this is also a massive victory for democracy and for freedom. Together, we're going to unlock America's glorious destiny. We're going to achieve the most incredible future.
True government efficiency isn't just about cutting excess. It's about igniting a culture of excellence, where every action serves a higher purpose and drives a nation forward.
I do think that government efficiency is not simply about reducing the size of government, but making sure that there are incentives for excellent work. You know, so if somebody's, whatever you incent will happen. So if you have incentives for excellent work, and if, by the same token, if someone's not doing excellent work, they're exited. Just like normal. It's really what happens in a properly functioning company is that you reward, or think of a sports team. The players that are doing well, they get rewarded, and the players that are not doing well, they exit the team. And that should just be how it works. And I think that'll have a profound effect on the effectiveness of government, because whatever you incent will happen. So if the incentives are aligned with saving people in North Carolina, then that's what'll happen. But if you have a sort of a failed response to the disasters, to the hurricane disasters, and no one even gets fired, well, okay, what do you expect? No one's going to take action. You know, so people have, if there's a track record of failure, you have to exit the people who failed. Otherwise, people will look around and say, well, I guess I don't need to do anything because, nothing bad happens to you, even if you do a terrible job and people, which is insane. You know, I definitely, the focus right now is making sure that Trump wins the election. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. And I think if Trump loses, we're going to see, our cities are going to get less safe. The border's obviously going to be wide open. We're going to see government spending go ballistic. It's inflation go nuts. It's going to be just bad on every level. And fundamentally, if the current trend of strangulation by overregulation is not turned around, we'll never get to Mars. It just will be illegal. And then we'll be a one-planet civilization, and it won't be a space-faring civilization, and Starfleet will never be real. And we want Starfleet to be real. The reasons that resonate are going to be different depending on who you're talking to. But I think the ones that resonate for me at least are, we want safer cities, we want a secure border, we want sensible government spending. We want support of the Constitution and the right, freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, and that's what Donald Trump is going to do. And the other thing I think is maybe a concern is that I think if there's 4 more years of sort of the Kamala sort of puppet regime, they're actually going to legalize so many illegals in the swing states that there won't be swing states anymore, and this will be the last election in that case, and we'll be a permanent one-party state like California. And in California, they recently, which is mind-blowing, they passed a law banning voter ID for any election in California whatsoever. Now they're going to try to do that nationwide. In fact, if they can, they will do it nationwide. If the Dems win, they'll ban voter ID nationwide. So that's why I think if Trump doesn't win, this is the last election.